this week, and that is the budget that both sides agreed on to keep the government open through September. So Republicans are accusing Democrats of spiking the football, that they're gloating too much about getting what they wanted, or at least shutting down some of the things that Republicans wanted. And the White House is basically saying, no, no, that's wrong. We got a lot of things that we wanted. But, you know, when you lose Rush Limbaugh, you may have to look at what your messages you're sending. And Rush Limbaugh is not pleased with the conservative tenets that he sees are not being held up, he says, by this White House. Listen to Rush.
If this is what happens, Mr. Vice President, why vote Republican? What is the point of voting Republican if the Democrats are going to continue to win practically 95% of their objectives, such as in this last budget deal? There isn't anything of the president's agenda in this budget, and people are beginning to ask, when's that going to happen? If you're going to shut it down in September, why not now?
David?
Well, Mike Pence was not on the Rush Limbaugh show just by chance. They understand that they had a restive base here around this budget deal. It's why you saw the president send Mick Mulvaney, his budget director, to that podium, and he just did not like the headlines that he was seeing, that he got rolled by the Democrats here. The clear priority for the White House, Allison, was to keep the government open right now. They thought a shutdown right now would be devastating to them, and they did. They punted a lot of these battles to the fall. I do think, and the president's tweet suggested it yesterday, gear up, everyone, for a real shutdown battle in the fall, because when you have Rush Limbaugh complaining like this, and when you have to send your administration officials out to really try to get the base back on board, you're going to have to show a fight, or you're going to lose folks. And so I would imagine Donald Trump is gearing up to show a fight in
Let's
September.
talk about that effort. Ron Brownstein, what did you make of the OMB director, Mulvaney, coming out there with pictures of a wall from New Mexico and saying, what do you think this is? We're building this right now. The Democrats don't want you to know that. By all indications, that's just not accurate. But why even have him go out there and then have him go out there and say something that's a little bit baloney?
Yeah, it was. And David's point is right. I mean, look, wave elections happen. Midterm wave election happens when one party's base is animated and the other is dispirited. And that's clearly what Republicans are getting concerned about. On the other hand, they are looking at a potential image of dysfunction, which is, tremendously off-putting to more independent and swing voters. You know, the other government shutdowns in the past that we've talked about, whether it was Barack Obama or Bill Clinton, was when you had divided government, when you had one party in control of Congress and the other party in control of the White House, and you had a clash over their priorities. The idea that you could shut down the government with unified control is something that is kind of a new idea, and one that would, I think, worry, and in fact, the initial reaction yesterday shows does worry many Republicans on Capitol Hill who are already looking at the struggles over health care and the image that projects about simply whether this is a gang that can shoot straight and can govern the country, given this unified control, which, as we talked about before, Chris, has grown increasingly rare. No one has held unified control for more than 4 years consecutively since 1968, and both Obama and Clinton lost it after 2 years, precisely, I think, because there was a backlash against the way they exercised it. I think Republicans are worried about being in the same position.
And just one point on Mulvaney. I mean, he's out there showing pictures of a wall basically aimed toward one person, and that's President Trump. He knows that President Trump is basically on the ropes on this health care battle. He's facing, Jimmy Kimmel in a late-night monologue that's being very, very tough on pre-existing medical conditions and coverage for that. And when Mick Mulvaney or any members of this administration go out and start talking, even if there's not evidence to really back it up, and they start talking about the president's priorities, a wall, that is aimed as much to the president, what he wants rolled out, than necessarily the truth.
Gentlemen, thank you.